Hello, welcome to the introduction video for the Heavy Hanging Punching Bag version 1, or Beat Bag for short. My name is Ariel Arbona. I am the sole team member. The product owner for this project is Michael H. Bukhar, and the instructor for the course is Masad Sadhadi. So I'm going to go over a brief introduction, then I'm going to go into the feature list, and finally I'm going to show you some screenshots of the actual software. Okay, so the main purpose for this project was to get data from sensors that were embedded inside a punching bag. The punching bag was created last year by the engineering team. There's a spiral that goes down into the punching bag, and there's evenly separated accelerometer sensors, and they're all connected to a Arduino sensor at the top. And the purpose for this project was to get the data from those sensors, display it onto a proper user interface, and then let the user interact with that data. So manipulate it, kind of see it, get feedback from it. Um, Also, the product owner wanted to bring improvements to workouts, specifically for boxing workouts. He wanted to make fun, interactive activity, which is punching a bag. It's a pretty boring activity, and he wanted to kind of give it a more fun interaction. So let's go ahead into the feature list. So the first three features are actually, I didn't include them here because they are just testing features. They're not implemented in the actual software. So we're going to start with the first feature or issue, which is PBAG 04. So first feature is to capture hit intervals or time the hits. Um, so as a user, I want the software to track the time intervals between hits, so I can see how fast I punch the heavy punching bag. The second feature is going to be user hit force. They go hand in hand with each other. So when the user hits the bag, they should receive a force and a time. The force would be measured in pounds, and the time will be measured in milliseconds, each corresponding to each hit. So let's go ahead and move to the other features. So we got feature PBAG06, which is tracking. So this will actually put the previous two features, which were um, just basically reading from the sensor. This will actually put it into a user interface right next to each other. Um, and then feature PBAG07, which is conversion. So the way the sensors are structured, they are reading in newtons, the way the math is done. So we wanted to give the user a way to actually see it in pounds or kilogram force, and this issue was done to achieve that. It's an easy conversion algorithm. It's basically just easy math. All right, let's go over to the next feature list. This is going to be 04, which is the actual development of the algorithm, which gives users a combo score. So the purpose for the combo score was to give users a little bit more feedback or a little bit more enthusiastic approach to the software so that they can, you know, have more interaction, more fun with it. Uh, Basic structure of the algorithm is whenever there's a certain threshold, force threshold given, and a certain time threshold. Whenever the force threshold is met or is above, they will be awarded half a combo point. And then whenever the time threshold is met or below, they will also be awarded half a combo point. And they would have to either meet both of them at the same time, or they'll have to meet one of them with a 10% variance so that they can be awarded half a combo point. That way, they're not just hitting it once really, really hard and then getting a bunch of combo points for no reason. The combo is supposed to be, various hits kept over a certain time. And also, that way they don't hit it really, really fast, but really light. There will also be no purpose to that. So the next feature in the list is feature PBAG09. It's the actual interface, customizable interface, so they can see their name, their information, software data, etc. This is kind of the user's interaction with the backend. So going over to PBAG 10, it's going to be histograms. The product owner wanted a way for the users to um, kind of look at their progress over time and save their sessions, their workout sessions, save their hits, their fastest hits, hardest hits, average hit, etc. And then look at each individual hit and time, respective time they came in for a certain day. The next feature is PBAG 14. It's going to be scale sensor. This is less of an actual interface feature. This is more of a backend feature. So the bag was getting really weird readings throughout the sensors because of the way that it was built. From last year, it was built in Unisys. So for the bag to have more accuracy, there had to be a way to um, kind of give the sensors each different readings so that they didn't all just capture the same data. For example, if you hit at the top of the bag, the one at the bottom is going to capture the same data, etc. That way, you don't get inaccurate readings. So this is more of a improving feature, code improvement upon the sensors. So feature PBAG 15 is user versus user. This is just right now it's just a local user adding, so it's just going to be able to add a local user, um, so that two people can compare their data. They can hit the bag and see which one hit it harder, etc. And then user control. Um, so this is basically each user it's going to put their their own touch on the sensor, kind of their own measurement on the sensor. Each sensor is going to adjust to the data provided by the user. So if a kid is hitting the bag, the sensitivity will go up, etc. Um, if a really strong man is hitting the bag, the sensitivity will go down, etc. So, last feature is PBAG 17, visualization. So this is a way to give more feedback in the application. I couldn't go as deep as I wanted to with charts and visual plotters and stuff like that. So I added some coloring feedback. For example, if you hit it within the threshold, the hits will turn green. If you hit it below, it'll turn red, etc. Okay, so let's go into the actual screenshots of the software so you can take a look. This is the login screen. Has for you to put your username, password. There's a login button and a register button. Pretty simple. This is when you go into the register. This is the register form. So you put ID, username, password, first name, last name, age, sex, class, height, and weight. And this is from PBAG 16, if you recall. This is what the sensor actually takes in that information, adjusts it, depends on whatever the user puts. So you click sign up and it'll go to a local database where it's stored and then to be called later upon the user. So once you click login, you sign up, you have your username, your password, etc. You click login. It'll take you to your homepage. The homepage still pretty standard, pretty basic. It just says welcome and your first name and last name, whichever you put on your registration, etc. This is the user info. So this user info is the one you just put in the registration form. This is a free mode. I mean a versus mode. So The purpose of this was to get a target, target in pounds and a target in time, and then you would hit start versus time or start versus force, and depending on which one you would hit, it would um, start a certain action in which if you do start versus force and you start hitting the bag, then it'll start counting the force and the hit until you hit the target pounds. Once you hit it, it'll give back how long you took to get to that target pound, and then you get the time, the target time, and then you start it up, and it'll start counting down from that time, and then it'll return how hard you were able to, how many pounds you were able to push in that amount of time. Right. Next one is a what I call a free mode. So this is just a, if you want to have like a workout session, you can just start hitting the bag and it'll start recording whatever you're hitting. So you just go ahead and start um, hitting the bag as much as like. It'll record your how many pounds you hit by, how fast you hit it in milliseconds, and how many hits, and then it'll give you a combo point score. Uh, Based on what I said earlier, the feature I mentioned earlier, which is the algorithm. And as you can see, there's some visual feedback if you hit it below the threshold. I believe the threshold for this trial I was doing was 80 pounds. So if I hit it below 80 pounds, it'll turn it red. If I hit it above 80 pounds, it'll turn it green, etc. Down here, as you can see, there is a player. So the player is, it'll take your username as the current player. You can add a player. It'll reset the screen, and the new player can start hitting the bag, and it won't count it under the this player. And you can save session once you're done, and then it'll go straight to the database for you to get back at later, or reset player. It'll just wipe whatever you've done so far. Okay. So next is the histogram section. It's pretty simple as well. It's just a date time picker. You pick whatever date you want to show, and then it'll give you the hardest hit, fastest hit, average hit, and then each hit and their respective time they came in. The hits are always in pounds, and then time in milliseconds, etc. And that's it for the introduction video. Thank you.